Rarely has mankind hesitated to eradicate the creatures that stand in the path of his conquest. If we find intelligent species, ritual extraterrestrials, undesirable invaders from another world, they must be destroyed if possible in our dark past. Watch out and pray.
Greetings. Welcome back to Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. Today, we're actually doing something new, but before I get to that, I always forget to introduce ourselves, so I am Tasker here, and we have our resident paranormal genius, Nick.
I've been so naughty lately. You know why? Do you want to know why I've been so naughty?
Because it was after Valentine's Day?
I mean, no, but I messed up on my diet, and my butthole is so messed up right now. It's so bad.
So this isn't a character. This is just real, right?
It hurts.
Oh, man. And you decide to, oh, wow. So we're doing a kind of a challenge mode for you today, huh?
Yeah, because I mean we're against the clock. It's either the podcast gets done or my pants are gonna have to go in the trash. So
yeah, and we do have to sacrifice for our art, you know.
Yeah, that's why I'm wearing Depends right now.
Yeah, good. And I mean, we might even be able to pick up some of that explosive finish on the microphones. In which case, this might be the best episode yet.
And we're keeping it in.
Yes, of course. But we are, of course, doing today something a little different. This is called the Local Legend series, where these stories are not really popular or famous by any stretch of the means. It's stuff that may have happened in your town or just a random story you grew up with. We will take user-submitted ideas for this, but we're kicking it off with something that I went through when I was in high school. So, like I said, these stories are not really well spread. In fact, there's probably maybe 30 people who know about this. And, I thought it could be a cool, fun way to kind of break the pace. And I'm actually going to be the one telling the story this time. So
yeah, because Tasker has more experience with this local legend than I do, even though we grew up in the same town.
Yeah.
So he's taking the reins today, and I'm just going to be talking bullshit.
And I made sure to get ready for it by going to a concert last night and completely blowing my voice as hard as I could. And yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, but I'm sure Justin Bieber appreciated you being there. So
yeah, he's going through hard times, man. I just want to be there for my boy Biebs. So anyways, but before we get into the nitty gritty, we do have fans now in Australia and Netherlands. So we just wanted to give you guys a quick shout out.
Yes. And you know what, mate? Hey, check it out. I'm doing this one for you, buddy, because I know in Australia, you're listening to us. You're like the only person in Australia who's listened to us all the way through. And look, buddy, we really appreciate it. All right. Look out for giant spiders. Remember, we talked about this in episode 1.
Right.
All right. Anything in the bush will kill you.
True. And see, we're just trying to make you feel at home. Nick's really doing really trying to be as welcoming as possible by trying to.
And I'm even wearing my Smoko shirt. All right. I'm wearing a shirt. It's a guy in a kangaroo costume with a mullet sitting on a milk crate, smoking a cigarette, and it says Smoko. And I know this one's for you. All right. I wore it just for you, buddy.
And that's a question, if you ever decide to reach out to us, is smoking on a milk crate like a normal thing? Like, is it that normal? Or
yeah, because I've heard it in songs.
Yeah.
And now I have a shirt. All right. I want to know if that's like a stereotype over there. Like, do you guys take your smoke breaks on milk crates?
And is like everyone mandated a milk crate when you start a job?
And
like
cigarettes when you're 5? I'm sorry.
Birthday, everyone gets like a little pack at the store.
Sorry. Oh, we just got them and then we lost them.
Yeah, it was. Thank you for sticking to us thus far. We're going to miss you.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into it, my guy.
Right. So this story is called Acid Boy, or in the full title, The Acid Boy of San Francisquito. Around where I grew up, there was this place called San Francisquito Canyon, and what made this place interesting is that it was a long, winding road of just like hills and mountains and a lot of nothing. So it was kind of the closest one could say the desert wilderness. And basically down here, the story follows basically a young teen and like his buddies all went down here because it was like a big hangout spot for a lot of teenagers, where he was basically tricked into dosing a stupid amount of hallucinogens and basically went on a murderous cannibal rampage. So, of course, and the context of the story was San Francisquito Canyon is the place you would go to like hang out and like, you know, drink and smoke. And like, it was so far away from everything. There was like barely any cops. Like you could be as loud as you want because all the houses were, it's like kind of like a place like Temecula, where every house is like miles away. So, and that's something like me and my friends would do that. You go out because there was these abandoned houses that, got destroyed in like a natural disaster or like an earthquake or a fire. And you would just go, and these places are all covered in like spray paint, graffiti. They were tagged and stuff.
Graffiti.
Yeah. I almost forgot the word.
The artist forgot the word graffiti. Isn't that weird?
I prefer spray paint typography.
Get on with the fucking story.
So, this story of Acid Boy was definitely like what they would, when we were driving there, because it's a very scary drive, I mind you, because.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's at night. It's fucking horrifying because there's no lights, and it's this giant canyon in the middle of the hills that just goes on for miles. There's no lights.
Mm-hmm.
Slender Man would definitely be hanging out on the side of the road there. Like you'll drive. It's a kind of place where you'll drive and you'll look to your right. All of a sudden you'll see something real quick in your headlights and it's gone. That's the kind of road it is. It's very creepy.
And speaking
but
of,
it's a good place to fuck.
Yeah, oh, of course. And that's like, but no exaggeration though. That road, like sometimes it gets covered in mist, like Silent Hill. It's like every single horror stereotype you could ever imagine, just like kind of squashed into one like little place. And if you keep going down the road, it gets more like foresty, and then it's just even creepier. So like, and I swear to God, like you're not wrong. Like that thing where you see something in the corner of your eye, like, and it happens all the time when you go there too. You feel like somebody's watching you and stuff. So it's a creepy place for sure.
Yeah, I'm a paranoid guy, so I see stuff out of the corner of my eye on that road. Like if I'm there at night, it's very, very spooky.
Oh yeah.
And I love it though. Like I like that kind of shit. So.
Oh yeah. And the best time to go, would be kind of like twilight and up toward like dusk, things are kind of quieting down and stuff. And of course, at this point, it's like it's the only way to get there is by car, because it's just that walk would take you a whole day, because you got to drive. It's like easily a 30-minute drive to get to like all the abandoned houses. But you're taking you back to that point of you're just like 17 or 18. You just have your driver's license, and this road is like Rainbow Road from Mario Kart, and you're all driving through this spooky place, and it's like, what better way to set the mood, or especially if you're taking people there for the first time, than with a scary story.
Ooh.
So what would happen is you would tell, especially like, if you like the common strategy is you bring a girl that you like with you and stuff, and like, or if like you're trying to integrate her into like your group of friends, you bring her with, but then one guy will start telling the story of Acid Boy.
Hey man, you ever heard of Acid Boy, bro?
Oh yeah, and you always get the skeptic. Oh yeah, that's stupid, but like it's sometimes it did stick. I know when when I was told the story at first, I was like, yeah, like a little weird about it, because let's just say it didn't scare me until you see those like closed off areas that are just pitch black darkness. You don't know what's in there, and they're like,
right.
Hey, that's where Acid Boy lives, and it's like ha ha ha. But I was also like, yeah, it might be Acid Boy, but also just might be a rabid coyote. So.
It's scary though, because you're out in the middle by these abandoned buildings, and somebody brings up like an urban legend, and it's nighttime. The hairs on the back of your neck are going to stand up, even if you believe it or not. It's going to creep you out,
Yeah, I figure it's a good way to know that your survival instinct is still working.
Mm-hmm.
So, but also to give you a bit of a time frame, this story circulated more around the late 2000s, early 2010s. It was just word of mouth. Like I said, there's barely anybody who's heard about this. Like even before we did the episode, I tried like bringing it up with a couple people, and like most people are like, what the fuck is this? And I was like,
what are you working on, a superhero comic? Acid Boy.
So before you think this is my cryptid fan fiction that I just literally wrote.
You pervert.
Oh man, this did happen. I remember the guy who told me the story. It was like somebody I didn't even really hang out with at the time, but I think he was the one who showed us the spot for the first time, and he was just like, and this dude was like perma-baked too, back like when he was like 17 or something. But I guess we should just tell you the story then, huh? So put yourself in that situation. You're 17 again, or you're 17 right now, or you're going to be, just pretend you're at that point. You're in a car, a couple people that maybe you're not super close with, maybe you're just hanging out with the cool kids for the first time. You're leaving your house, going off and doing something adventurous.
Hey, Mom, I'll be back in a little bit. I'm going to go to the library and study.
Yeah, I'll text you when I'm done, Mom, and stuff. Or not even that, because moms didn't have cell phones back then. Or no, they might have. And it's now nighttime, and this weird stoner kid, and you've probably never done a drug in your life, and this stoner kid turns to you and says, Hey, let me tell you a story.
Hey, man, you want to hear a pretty wild story?
So the story of Acid Boy begins with, of course, there's no names of anybody and stuff because the trick is to try to tell the story as real as possible. But as legends go, there's a little bit of holes in it. So that we did the best we could to stitch together what we knew about it. But we just know that there's a teenage boy and 4 of his friends. They all take a drive down San Francisquito Road to hang out for the evening. And basically, there's no real distinct method, and that's something as the storyteller you can take liberty on. But the boy's friends basically pranked him by dosing his food with acid, and then, well, it was like they were all going out there to do drugs. But what they did is they put like a crap ton of it in like their friends, and then
Hey, man, you know what would be really funny is if we like fried his brain. Let's put some acid in his sandwiches, bro.
And it's funny to think about too, because it's like, dude, acid is probably not cheap, so it's also kind of like, why would you do that? But I don't know. But also too, teenage years are we all make mistakes in the heat of passion, Jimbo.
Why miss a good prank? Why miss out on something like this?
True.
You may as well just do it if you got the means.
Mm-hmm. Though I have heard other iterations of they had acid and it was just like spiked or laced with something else too, and like they just like had him and he was just the first one to try it or something like that. Or
okay.
Yeah, or he was like the runt to the group and they were just like, you do it first, man. You're like,
Come on, guys, don't make me do it first. I don't want to fucking do it.
You got to do it, otherwise we're gonna fucking leave you here.
Oh, come on, man. That's my ride home, man.
Sorry, that just really takes me back when like you had the one friend who could drive and just everybody like literally like borderline manipulated this person emotionally just to like get around everywhere.
Oh my god.
Oh man. And I say that because that happened to me too. Once I got my license, 'cause I had a big old truck. Anyways, so the friends this was after they took the acid. No. This is they're eating food now. All the friends, they haven't taken the acid yet. They haven't bullied their friend into it. And then they all start, drinking beer, smoking cigarettes. And then they fed the friend, that you're drinking, you're smoking, nothing helps that out quite like a good snack. So they give the friend the spiked we'll say it was it's acid. So let's say we gave him spiked Chips Ahoy.
Hey, man, you want some cookies? Shh, don't tell him. Yeah. No, this one's yours. Yeah, no, these are ours. You take this one.
Like drop it on the ground. Oh shit, that would be sad. So basically, they feed him the Chips Ahoy, and he immediately is like tripping nutsack, like howling with laughter and like doing crazy stuff, talking nonsense and babbling and itching and biting. Which, by the way, if you've ever seen anybody on acid, there's like they act very strange, and usually it's a lot of laughing to yourself. It's a lot of like twitchy, weird, erratic behavior. But like the symptoms in the story with this kid, it's like that's kind of more like methy. Like that's like a lot more like intense. So that. Yeah, the kid's basically having really intense symptoms, but also his friends are just like laughing at him and making fun of him and like pushing him. And also too, as you might imagine, when you're on a heavy drug, the last thing you want is people just like jumping and hollering and pointing at you and stuff. Because I mean, it's just kind of no good. But in his stupor, like after just kind of losing, like, as he kind of keeps falling further and further down the acid rabbit hole, he basically, in his acid drugged out mind, decided that maybe eating more food would help, and goes to the backpack and ends up eating the rest of the acid and all of the friends' doses. So his friends, of course, get really, really mad. Understandably so. That's a lot of money down the drain. So now, instead of just making fun of him, they're like yelling and screaming and like basically like beating him up. Like they're getting like really intense with us. Like we came all
take my acid, bro, huh? You took my acid?
Oh, how times change. Basically though, with every dose of this probably cut up acid, and also getting like the shit kicked out of him by people that probably weren't really too nice to him to begin with. And I'm sure there was some resentment building there. He basically goes full blown crazy and becomes Acid Boy in this moment, in that his mind basically fractures. He leaps up at one of his friends and just starts to violently bite and tear into the skin on their face, and getting chunks off and like swallowing it and stuff, basically eating one of their faces.
Like jerky.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just making a good old regular snack because you see, he was just a hungry boy.
Yeah.
So the other friends freeze in shock until Acid Boy jumps to another of the boys, basically biting deep into his arm. So we have a face now gone. We have an arm that has a big old like cracked out kid on it. So the other two, instantly run off and split off in different directions and stuff. Acid Boy, like, he stops biting the one kid's arm and then just starts chasing after these kids at like a really like frightening, like spooky monster speed.
Here comes Acid Boy.
Oh man, actually, this would not make too bad of a animated series.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is just your superhero fanfic.
Yeah, hey man, I'm trying to get off my feet just like everyone else. So the kids ran to an electrical plant, climbed the fence, and hid behind a bunch of machinery. Acid Boy easily caught up with them and like climbed the fence like in seconds flat.
Haha, you thought the fence would hold me. I am Acid Boy.
Here comes Acid Mouse. And he basically is just like clawing through like all, and this is like machinery too, and he's just like clawing through, he's ripping through like metal, and they're just like, holy crap, like this is not good. So Acid Boy of course finds them and gives chase, and the friends make it to a fence towards the end of the little electrical plant where there's like telephone wires funneling out. Acid Boy sees them climbing the fence, which is right near all the wires, and leaps up, and like with at inhuman strength. The two friends make it up to the top. They jump down, and when they look back to see like what happened, turned out Acid Boy jumped too high and got into the telephone wires and just ended up just frying his ass and violently electrocuted. And he's like biting and screaming at the wires, and he's just like basically he turns into the inside of a hot pocket, you know.
Nice and hot.
Yeah, I thought that'd be good.
But also cold in the very middle. Didn't Jim Gaffigan do a joke about that?
I think so.
Jim Gaffigan sucks.
He had a couple good ones, and then
I'm sorry, Jim.
Yeah.
I'm on a first name basis.
Yeah. You have him on you have him over on Thanksgiving sometimes.
Oh yeah, he eats a lot.
Yeah. So the two friends, after staring in disbelief at what happened, remember their injured friends and decide that they need to run back to him. So they call an ambulance, and out of fear of being responsible for their friend's death and for doing illegal drugs, they just said they were attacked by a bunch of rabid coyotes and that they don't know what happened to the quote-unquote fifth friend after he quote-unquote ran off towards the electrical plant.
Yeah, man. I don't know, like, yeah, it was coyotes, man. Yeah. What? Oh no, I don't know. Like, yeah, we had like a fifth guy with us, but I don't know. Like, I think he was joined him or something. I don't know, man. Why am I sweating so much?
I don't do drugs. I love being sober.
Why are my eyes dilated, bro? I just had a eye exam earlier, and I don't know why you're asking me all these questions, man.
You think the kid that got bit by Acid Boy got like zombie acid high?
Yeah, like an acid vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's an interesting zombie thing where it's like, yes, you're a zombie, but it's like you're not undead, you're just got acid in your system and it just never goes away.
Yeah, what if you could transfer acid through bites?
Ooh.
Like that. That'd be crazy.
And that would be...
You know what? No, the more I think about it, you're just making an outline for your new comic book. You're trolling me and the audience.
No, it's a real story.
Oh my God. I put my trust in you.
Just using the podcast as a platform to pitch ideas and stuff. And hopefully one of our listeners is a producer.
Yeah, Weinstein's not listening, all right? He's out of work.
I don't think he's allowed to listen to podcasts.
That's true. Piece of shit.
Yeah. Is he in jail or is he still?
No, I saw pictures of him in McDonald's like a month ago on Reddit. He looks pretty bad.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, dude, he's wearing like matching sweats, like just gray sweatshirt and gray sweatpants, and just looks like he hasn't shaved in like 5 days.
The depression uniform.
Yeah, it's pretty classic.
Oh my God.
You know what? I want to go up there and I'm going to grab him in the dick and see how he likes it.
Yeah, why not? I mean, he can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be hailed a hero.
Yeah, I think so, actually. Yeah, you'll trend on Twitter. Yeah. So, anyways, oddly enough, there was no trace of Acid Boy's body when police conducted a short investigation after the boy was reported missing, and the case was never officially solved. Also, too, just to mention about the kid who has his face ripped off, that's where the coyote story came in, is they were saying, like, oh, we were just viciously attacked. But the legend is that Acid Boy's vengeful spirit still lurks, and he's still high off his mind, wildly insane and violent, and supposedly he hides in only pitch black places, and only at night because of his fear of bright lights, because of the brightness of the electricity that killed him. And if you do run into Acid Boy, what you can do to possibly stun him and get away is shine a bright light to buy yourself time before he attacks you. And he only appears when teenagers come around his territory to party because the sound reminds him of his original target, the friends that drugged him and turned him into a monster in the first place.
Hey, man. Hey, what are you guys doing over here, man? This is my place. Hey, is that beer?
Yeah.
You guys got beer, man? You mind if I come over there? Come over. Hey, is that Keystone Light?
Yeah.
That's pretty good, man.
Depending on the type of beer, depends on how he kills you. If it's Keystone, he just like bites your dick off and just lets you bleed out. If it's Blue Moon, he'll just bite your arm.
Yeah, and if it's Hef, he'll let you live.
Yeah, he just lets you go.
Any kind of Hefeweizen, dude, you're in. He's like, yeah, man, I really like that shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys, but I'm gonna have to eat your fucking face now.
It reminds me of there was an old show called Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and it's very upsetting.
Great show.
Yeah, it's upsetting to say that it's an old show now, but that thing where they had a reference to Yogi Bear. But in the episode, Yogi's just like starved and just like super depraved, and just like has a borderline like meth addiction to like picnic baskets.
Yeah. Hey, boo boo, give me those fucking picnic baskets.
It's a very nice looking basket right there. He's like, yeah, I bet you got some nicer sandwiches in there. Probably. He's like, did you get the basket, Yogi's? They just start like charging them. Oh, man. But yeah, in essence, that's the story. I mean, that was a little bit more of a long form version of the story. Obviously, when you're in the car, you would tell that to your victims on their way to San Francisquito because it's a really creepy road.
What do you mean by victims? You mean like somebody that you're going to pull off to the side of the road in San Francisquito and then you're going to like, what are you going to cap them?
Well, it depends on what they can do for me.
Okay. All right. That's fine. I'm not going to drive with you ever again.
Yeah, that's okay. And if I'm not on the next week's episode, it's because I'm in a federal prison, probably.
Oh, yeah. I'm not turning you in.
Yeah. So, yeah, this episode really backfired. I've ended up just giving proof of crimes.
The more you talk, the more people can isolate the audio. And the further down you're going to go.
This is very true.
Keep talking.
Yeah. I'm just glad I'm not going into politics. Although it's my career would end probably on day one.
Me too.
Yeah. But yeah, that's sort of the kind of the format though of local legends and stuff.
That's the kind of hometown story that we're looking for from you guys that you could email to us. You know, like this is just like we wanted to give you one from our hometown just to give you an idea. Mm-hmm. And start the series off with our own. But if you guys had any that you want to send to us that we can talk about, email is ceotpk1@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. We have Instagram @ceotpk, Twitter @ceotpk with a number 1 at the end of it.
That was. I still feel bad about that fuck up on Twitter.
Good thing it was early on, though. If we have anybody who decides to start with us right from the beginning, it's a little. You can consider it a podcast scavenger hunt. We just want you to have fun.
Yeah. Find us on the internet. Like, why do I have to give you everything?
Right.
Work for it.
And there goes our Netherlands follower.
Oh shit.
But we also have Discord, discord.gg/b6 capital CT 5 capital MX. If you're listening to us on Spotify, if you could follow, that would be super, super sweet. If you're on iTunes, if you can rate and review, that would also be super, super sweet. Everything helps. Everything you do to kind of help give our page a bump would be amazing.
Yeah, we wanted, like we say every time, we just want more people to hear this bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, we love it. I mean, okay, I love it. Tasker's afraid of it.
Yeah.
You guys probably like it. I know there's more people out there that like this kind of weird shit and don't mind like offensive accents.
Yeah.
It's just like there's a you know what I mean?
There might be a market for this.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And I think that this has been a really good time for us lately. I mean, we've been doing this for over 2 months now.
Yeah. So episode 9, that's 9 weeks. Yeah.
9 weeks. That's just a little over 2 months. And damn, it's been a great time. Like, It's been a really good outlet for us. I know me especially. How do you feel, Tasker?
Well, I got to pitch 3 ideas today. That's 3 more than usual. So I'm feeling pretty good. If I get lucky one day, maybe my Acid Zombies script will get picked up next week.
You're going to get a call from Weinstein.
And hey, if that happens, thank you, listeners, for giving me the encouragement and the courage to let my ideas be known.
There you go. And yeah, and I'm doing it because, look, let's all be honest. Life and work sucks.
Yes.
It sucks hard. All right. And this is an outlet for me to look into things that I'm interested in and have an excuse to do it at the end of the night every night and be like, instead of me looking at UFO stuff and looking at monster stuff online, just out of, just for my fun. Mm-hmm. And people would be like, oh, that guy's like lazy or he's weird. I can now say, I'm actually working on my outline for my podcast. So this is research technically.
Excuse me, sir. This is a very strong hobby of mine.
Yeah, I'm actually on iTunes and Spotify. So I have to make sure my research is okay.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, thank you guys for listening. I know that we're starting to get some listener base, a small listener base now, and we really, really, really appreciate it.
Oh, and also a brief shout out to Caruso for enjoying the "This is why this is bullshit" segments. By the way, the reason why Acid Boy is bullshit is because it's not real. It's made to scare people. It's literally a fake tale. So if you send us a tale, you even could just make it up yourself and write everything. We won't know any better.
Don't listen to him. All right. Look, I know there's a lot of local legends out there that are grounded in reality. Okay, there's got to be something in there that's real. I know you guys have them, and I want to hear them so I can figure out why they're real.
Right.
Because personally, Acid Boy, I don't know much about it, to be honest with you. I wasn't one of the lucky few in our high school that got to hear about it because I never smoked weed and I never went to San Francisquito Road and I never did all this shit. So I don't know. And I don't know if it's real, but I want it to be real with a lot of this stuff. I don't know if it's real, but I can't tell you it's not real.
Well, it might not be Acid Boy, but I'm sure there's something in those shadows.
Oh God, dude, there's got to be something on that road that's yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, one of the houses that we go to in the backyard with the pool, there was the little area. It was this little cavern and because it was a really nice house at one point. And there was just this little it looked like a tomb almost, and you could walk in, and it was pitch black, and none of us went in. It was that funny thing where even the kid who told the story was like, "Oh yeah, that's where he lives," but nobody got even close to it.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's everything. Like we said, if you have a story, let us know. We would love to have it on the show. But I think we're doing aliens next week.
Oh yeah, we got 2 alien episodes coming up. We're doing a double whammy of aliens.
Yeah.
All right.
we realized we should be a little faithful to our namesake and do a couple more alien bits. But we're gonna have a little bit of everything coming up. We're working towards maybe getting a good Count Chocula episode coming up.
Oh yeah, something real special for you guys that we're working on. I know we were fucking joking about it during the vampire episodes, Count Chocula. But looking into it, there's a lot of pretty good lore and fan fiction surrounding Count Chocula.
Yeah, and we said we were going to get into him, and we didn't. So it's like, no, it's very, especially his violent youth, like really frightening what that guy has done.
Yeah, and we'll get more into it when the episode does come along, but we just wanted to make an announcement. It's in the works.
Yes. But till then, thank you all for listening. Hope you had a really good Valentine's Day. Hopefully you were able to treat yourself to something.
Yeah, and Amy, you got some beer, bro? Snap out of that pussy. Snap into a Slim Jim.